The Lot Pod is kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Fast Signs are an established family-run business who've been providing businesses around Leeds and West Yorkshire with effective signs and graphics for almost 30 years. Fast Signs are passionate about helping customers make a statement with signs that are eye-catching, effective and delivered fast. Hi everyone, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17-8 podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs, and we'd like to take this opportunity to thank Fast Signs for their support over the whole of 2024. They came in as our new title sponsors this year, and they have fully got behind and supported the podcast, so thank you very much to Fast Signs. We are very appreciative of their support, which included making those fab Lot Pod awards for Brody Croft got 2.
Yeah,
they're now in the bin.
Hang on now. I saw Brody Croft at the Community Open Day, and when I did say we were the weirdos that gave you those awards, he did smile. I did say you've probably put in the bin. He said no. He said no, I haven't.
Disagree at the weirdo.
No, he didn't disagree with the weirdo thing, but he said he hadn't put them in a bin at that point. Who knows?
No, they're in his loft.
Yeah,
in his loft somewhere.
His loft.
Pop them up there.
They'll be in his locker at the training ground, I reckon.
We're back. Match review panel time. Leeds versus Wakefield from Boxing Day. Statman Reese, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Merry Christmas. Happy New
Merry
Year
Christmas. It's a lovely festive period, as it always is. Food.
Santa's been
cheese.
Kind to us. I don't know why Chris
Santa has been kind.
Chris is there.
There's a sizing issue with Chris's.
It's a small girl's.
But yeah, no, I'm really good. Although I'm a bit annoyed about the Boxing Day game and also happy because it felt like, yes, rugby's back. But then it's still a month now until we play again. Because we don't play again until the Wigan Ashes testimonial against Wigan, do we?
No, but we've got some good stuff coming up in between then, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
I'm leaving it there.
Oh, right, okay. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but anyway.
Well, we're going to Media Day.
News
We're
bomb.
going to the media. You just found out.
Well, no, I didn't realise we were dropping the news, but yes.
No, we are going.
We are at the Media Day.
To the Media Day at Headingley. So, are you ready? Are you ready for Rugby League to return as well?
I don't like
this
it.
Game give you?
Yeah, I'd be happy if it were all year round.
Just forever.
Yeah.
Just 2 games a week.
They were really good. They were really good. Lovely weather.
Stunning weather. Warm.
I rugged up and then I was sweating.
You rubbed up?
Rugged up.
Oh, I said you rubbed up.
I think that's an Australian. Is that an Australian?
This is a child-friendly podcast.
Yeah,
is it? So what stuff you got?
What made me say that?
It was lovely though. It was blue sky, but so I saw someone actually. So I think it was the Try Line on Twitter saying that they should play wheelchair rugby league in the off season. Yes. So you should at least keep some rugby league going.
I think James Simpson agreed with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a bit annoyed that we've played a game and we're not going to play now for a month because I'm ready now. And then we've got to wait for a month again. But it was nice to be back at Headingley in the sun.
Match review panel time. In true Lot Pod style, we will start with the positives. What are your positives? What are the Rhinos' positives? So this one, Chris.
I thought they looked fitter. I don't know whether you agree with that, Reese.
Sexier.
People are going to turn off.
I thought you said it was a.
People are going to turn off.
And they just looked a cohesive team. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard when it's friendly. You can't read anything into it really, but they just looked fitter. And the biggest difference for me was the pack. Usually, if we take Mick off, and whoever's starting with him, there's a massive drop in there.
Yeah.
But it will like for like. So Cooper Jenkins comes on and is like Mick. And then Sam Lasoni comes on and can do his thing for a bit. He looked trim, didn't he?
He did look trimmer, but I think like you're right, there was a team for the first 40 minutes when the first team were on. It was an improvement on the things that we didn't see last year that people wanted to see, which was line speed in defence. I think they didn't really finish this. I don't remember many sets in the first half where they finished an hour and a half. It was
we dominated them. Really.
We dominated the territory. We carried out well from deep. We carried out well from in that middle of the park, and we were finishing the sets well. Discipline was still a bit poor at the ruck.
Yeah, there were a couple of. But I suppose it's
which you can put down to pre-season. But I think from a team perspective, it was better in general. It's the steps that I wanted to see us take. We're off the line. We're meeting them out on the line. We weren't conceding meters, and we were making far more meters than we were previously.
And Mick looked better for having people around him.
For having some new friends.
Yeah.
That are better than the old friends.
Yeah, he looked back to his best. And I thought Frawley and Croft were good. They looked settled to me. They looked like they'd played together.
Not like they'd had a year together.
And even Frawley's kicking game was really good.
Yeah, I think there was one wayward, but then there was a couple that were really good on the last tackle. Jake Connor did a really good one, actually.
Yeah, he did,
half. A belter on the second half. But
kicked at corners a lot more as well.
We did, yeah, we were kicking to the corner a lot better. But I think my positives were, I think I'd just say the 5 new signings, because I think they all put a good shift in. Nice to see them all. You know, it's not often we get to see.
It's just nice to see them.
Well, it's not often we get to see the new signings.
No, it was good.
Like, last year, you had Momorowski still in Australia. We didn't see Brody. I don't remember. I think we saw Ackers and we saw Miller last year. But we didn't. You know, we've seen the first team squad who are fit, and we've seen all new signings. Yeah. So it was. I think that's a positive, and they all put a relatively good shift in. I think there's some were outstanding, some were just good. But I won't say there was any bad performances from the new signings.
How bizarre was it to see Ryan Hall? Because it was like he'd never left.
He came out, didn't he? And at the South Centre started going, singing it, Ryan Hall. I went, hang on a minute, I've gone back.
What year is it?
8-9 years.
Is that Jumanji?
It was a bit bizarre. But it's what's even bizarrer is that he's not the biggest winger. I know when Lackey told us that Ryan's like, this is the first time I've not been the biggest winger. I had Sivo on my side.
He's huge.
On the South Stand. And me and Ness, I took my wife for the second time. She spent the first 10 minutes just looking at Micah's legs. Honestly,
he's massive, he nearly scored try at season already.
he's a big man. I mean,
we're gonna have to.
And I did feel that Micah was probably putting about 50-60% effort in.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he wasn't. I mean, I thought Ryan was actually carrying far stronger than Micah. He was beating more people. He was making more meters. And then we saw a bit of what he could do with Micah getting that full length for the field. And I think during the season, I mean, Lackell Lorms is quick. He will catch Micah, I think, during the season. But in the season, and if that's round 1 and Micah's made that break, he's got Lackell Wormsley coming up. The Fenn's coming out, and Worms has ended up in the seventh. He's not going to do what he did in the
We didn't really go down that wing a lot, neither did we?
We kicked towards Ryan Hall a bit more, I think.
Because Hall played on right, not left.
Wearing number 5.
Reece didn't like that.
But I did like how Newman was with
I
Ryan
thought
Hall.
Harry were brilliant, actually.
I think that's a good. It'd be nice for Newman to be. He's obviously gets on with Ash really well, but I think it'd be good for Newman to be with Hawley on that basis from there. And we saw Ash at centre. All these off-season talk about where's Ash.
It's all true.
Where's Ash going to play?
Believe it all.
We saw him at centre. He didn't get much opportunity to let Micah go away. But yeah, Ryan was great, but it was weird because it was just like stepping back in time, really, just him slotting back into the side.
He's not even aged either, has he?
No.
He looked. I mean, yeah.
I could see him going around again next year if he stays.
There's no way that he's not playing rugby league.
It's going to happen. He's going to have another year with the Rhinos. Well, let's touch on one of those signings. You mentioned him once or twice there, Jake Connor. A significant impact in this game. 2 tries, successfully converting 2 goals as well. 12 points to Leeds total. There were some ironic boos which won't happen again. It was a novelty.
That didn't happen after 16 minutes anyway.
Exactly. It was a one-off thing. I know quite a few people were like, what the it won't happen again. Thoughts on Jake the Snake, Statman Reece?
I was laughing. Honestly, when he went through that first,
when
he went through that first one, I think it was the second one. He put 2 fingers up to the Wakefield fans, saying he scored 2 tries.
We've seen that story before.
He's our twat now.
Finally.
He's our twat now. But no, I thought Jake was like in that final 20. It was different fullback play because he was almost coming in as another halfback or a centre. At that
that's
point.
how he plays.
It wasn't like a Lackey joining the line late and just quick pass.
Yeah.
And he was coming in. He had the ball in 2 hands, and it was a case of you didn't know what he was going to do. And that's exactly what happened on both those tries. He had a ball in 2 hands. He had options left and right, and they went with a dummy, and he went through. And if we get a Jake Connor like that consistently this year, then that signing is a great master stroke.
Yeah, and like you say, his kicking game at some points were really good. Like they were winning second half.
Second half was
he were in his own 20, and
Well, the fullback started running towards the south stand touchline where he thought Jake was going to kick it. And Jake has seen it.
Totally the other way.
And just kicked it all the way over ends. And it went all the way down to, I think, about the 5 or 10. Was that when Palacia did the big hit as well after? Yeah. And it was the chase was great as well after that. But yeah, his kicking game was good. I think he took nearly every high catch. I think if not every high ball.
Yeah.
I think Brad said he missed his assignment a couple of times, and he missed it. You know, Brad was like really keen not to overpraise him, which I really think is really good.
I think he'll do that across the board.
Well, he said Lackey's the number one,
the fullback,
and it's up to Jake to
get in somewhere.
I think Alfie's injury is going to change things up there, because I think Alfie was nailed on to be backup fullback.
Fullback, yeah.
And, you know, it was clear that Alfie was going to start fullback today. The only reason Jake has had to do it is because, unfortunately, Alfie's injury, which we also, you know, hope for the best for Alfie. It's not too long that he's out for. But if Alfie is out for quite a while, then I've got no issue with Jake starting at fullback. But where he made his tries are halfback centre sort of positions. So I can see the versatility of Jake's just going to slot in. But if he starts to play really, really well and someone's not playing well, like Frawley, like Ash or one of the wingers, you can see the movement and the versatility. So when the squad numbers are going to come out, people are going to read far too much into it.
And
But I thought, you know,
we'll have a special on it.
Jake was easily the player of the match. I know we'll do that at the end, but he was, you know, he was brilliant. As in terms of resetting the mindset of fans, you know, there's ironic boos, but by the 60th minute, there were people were laughing, like people were laughing, going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, he wasn't chirping a lot neither, were he? It seemed like he'd just gone, right, I've got an opportunity here. I'm going to go out and play and not mess around.
You get it right.
And that's what he did. He were unplayable at some point, so they just couldn't touch him.
Well, it was that 2 balls in hand, and they just with their hand, they didn't know what he was going to do. And they couldn't read him, and literally his dummy was that good on both of them, where he wasn't even touched.
He's scored both those 2 tries against us before.
Oh yeah,
I've seen those tries. I thought, no, I've seen that, but it's been against us.
I think
and it's done exactly the same thing. Double pump. Dummy is in.
We all know that he's got a lot of talent. He's just got to apply it consistently.
Yeah,
that's his challenge.
This is currently a one. It's a one game for us,
and it's a friendly, and it were against Wakefield, who were a fairly new side. So
and they didn't have their full team out either. But if you get that Jake Connor 80% of the season, I think people will.
It makes more sense now when you see him play like that, and he can play in a few different positions. It's like I get it, especially with Jared being injured, which unfortunately could be out for a while. Someone like Jake could be really useful on bench.
Chris, you are the chairman of the PCLM FC.
Yeah.
Are you worried for your friend?
No, because I think he'll start if he's fit.
Well, I think Brad's been quite clear already, hasn't he? Miller will play round 1.
They're just totally different types of players, aren't they? I don't think Connor's a fullback. I think he's a halfback or a centre.
Do you think it should be Matt Frawley?
Well, we could get. No, I think we'll get onto that later. I think he'll be on the bench, will Jake Connor? He'll be that utility player.
And come off there and drop in.
If he's playing like that, though, and we've got that problem, i.e., we've got a great player here that we can't fit in because everyone else is on the pit in the 1 to 13s playing well. But if we need to change something up, we've got him on the bench to bring on. I'm fine with that problem.
And it's up to Lackey, isn't it? Because he's admitted to us that he made quite a few errors. If he does that, he'll be out.
Jake's there.
So it's
and I think the injury to Alfie has
changed
makes that question viable, because I think if Alfie wasn't injured, then that question's a case of no. Jake would have been in the halves or centres that day.
Cooper Jenkins, you kind of said he's Michalewski version 2.0.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah. We used to joke about cloning Michalewski.
Well, we've done it
on this podcast. Have we done it now? Medical science come so far.
To be fair, he is a bit different. He's a bit taller, a bit rangier, but his collision's really good. I don't know that you noticed. I think
he won most of the collisions he went through.
He just keeps running. And he's quick because he's a sprinter.
He's chest first. He's chest
first. He can do the 100 metres in 9.2.
He runs like
9.8.
Every contact, he's slightly leaning forward. It's chest first, and he wants to win that contact every time. He was good in defence as well. I mean, he only did about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, he whacked a few people, didn't he?
But in the stint you did, you could see the value it had to the pack. And I'm not saying he should be starting straight away, but I can see that is definitely the size and fitness that we needed in our pack.
That's
where
it, 'cause-
you can drop him in and he will do that job in the middle. He will run. I mean, I really liked his comments about him being a wrist robot, because I'm quite happy having a prop that just wants to pick up the ball and run with it
and go with it.
But he worked hard in defence as well.
Yeah, how many times last year did we say the squad's not fit enough to
I think
put Brad's plan in place?
92 times.
Yeah.
We said that.
They look fit enough to do it now, because the line speed and the kick chase, and it were forwards that were leading kick chase. Mick were doing it a lot. Slightly optimistic. You can't read too much into it.
The first set he looked a bit out of place. He wasn't quite sure where to be in the line, and he got directed. And the next set he looked far more comfortable. But it'll come with time with him. It'll be a step up from.
I think he'll be a great signing.
Yeah,
I think he'll be a bit of
JP.
There's a bit of JP about him. That how he goes in, and
It's a lot pod come on.
And like Reece says, stands up, goes chest first, and don't want to go.
He would. I wouldn't be hesitant to say he went forward in every contact he went into, in terms of when he carried the ball. I don't think he took a backward step.
Yeah, Mick were going in like a bloody wrecking ball, wasn't he? We're bouncing off, pinballing everybody. But it's going forward.
Yeah,
Quick bang.
But I think that's because of the next new signing we need to talk about.
Keenan
Palacia. Because in defence, he was an absolute workhorse. He was tackling. I'd say his tackling numbers was higher out of any of the props. I mean, he did play longer as well. I think he played about 50, 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
I couldn't even spell Connor's name right in WhatsApp groups. I have no chance of passing.
But he defensively, I think that starting prop combo of Aledski Palacia is going to be great, because Palacia put a lot of effort in defence in the middle, which meant that the pressure was. You could see the pressure being relieved off Mick, and that's the point I wanted to go off straight off. That was Mick could make those runs, because he wasn't on his arse, because he's had to make 3 or 4 tackles in the last set because he's had to cover for someone else. Or he's had to feel like he's had to make that extra effort. He's got another prop in the middle that you can trust, and Palacia put 2 huge hits.
He'll be a fan's favourite if he keeps doing that.
The first hit I was right in line with, and it wasn't a case everyone celebrated, everyone cringed around us, because Nessa was just like, oh god, it was I mean, to be fair to the Wakey guy, he got straight back up, but it was right into his chest, and it was a proper, like, everyone heard it, everyone was like, oh, what a hit.
Echoed all across head.
And then the next set they knocked it on, and it was just, but the pressure from that tackle.
They knocked it on because they were petrified that Keenan Palacia were going to come running at him at 16 mile an hour.
But arguably the second one was more impressive, because it was after that Jake Connor kick, which had gone 60, 70 metres. He was leading the line with the youngsters.
I'm surprised that I don't know who it was, but I'm surprised they got up, because he walloped him.
He's out for 8 months.
But it's to have a prop, and I think he was playing out in the second row at that point. But have a prop that will lead that chase, be in the line with 10 metre, on their 10 metre line, and then make that hit.
Yeah.
That sort of effort that you want.
Massive.
You really want from a prop.
Massive.
So I think he will complement Mick so well, because I think don't get me wrong, he carried really well, did Palacia. But if it meant that he can take the hits in the defence,
he's not the biggest prop, is he?
I wouldn't say I think I'd say Cooper and Mick are bigger than him in terms of carrying.
Yeah.
But if that means that Mick can just have that extra bit of energy to make those runs,
to do what Mick
because he
does
will
best.
make those breaks. I'll even make those breaks, win that contact, get that quick ball from the ruck.
Yeah.
It's that you can see the progression and the reasons why we've done these signings and why we've been calling out for it for about 3 years.
I think they're as starting props, them two.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Just the fit, mobile and big, and they can hit hard. So I think we need to start better, don't we?
Definitely.
We
need Lasoni on the bench. We don't need him starting.
Yeah, and I think he'll only benefit from it, but. We've got enough props now that he's going to have to fight for his place, isn't it, Lasoni?
Should we talk about another one?
Few errors, and he'll be...
I think Lasoni, I think the problem with Lasoni, he's still going to stand out as not being as fit as the other 4.
Yeah.
Because
he's not as fit.
Because in reality, he isn't as fit, but you always said he's a luxury prop to have.
Yes.
And to be fair to Lasoni, he was running dummy ball lines, but he wasn't just jogging, going half-assed. He was actually running them at pace and actually making it purposeful.
Yeah.
And he was on his arse a bit, because he was doing.
Well, it's pre-season as well. Isn't it?
And he was doing bigger stints than he normally would do. And I just asked, what I would say to people is, he is going to look unfitter against Aledski, who can run a 10k in 44 minutes. Palacia
who can run a 10k in 54 minutes.
Yeah, and
Jenkins who can run it in
10 seconds.
Does 100 metres in 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
But yeah, he's going to look unfitter against that, but that's not his role. His role is to come on and add that impact for those probably 10, 15 minutes at the end of the half when they're lagging.
Yeah.
When you've got props like those three that can probably do 60 minutes if they need to.
Another prop, Tom Holroyd. Jared, Max and Alfie all said he was top of the charts during pre-season training. Looks in fantastic nick. Is it as simple, Chris, as just keeping him fit and playing with Tom Holroyd? Do we need to strip it down to Tom, just stay fit?
Yeah.
Please.
I mean, he looks massive.
Yeah,
Looks
cover your ears,
amazing.
George. He looks fucking huge.
He looks amazing.
What you can tell he's
like
been
a
in the
tank.
gym all last year. He's honestly, I mean, I have it on good faith that he's gone up a shirt size. But he looked like when he came on the pitch, and I'm like, is that Holroyd? Because we haven't seen him for the best part of a year, have we?
No.
And he looked absolutely massive.
He did.
He's obviously done some serious work in the season last year whilst being off. So, like you say, the key is keeping him fit. Because if you put him in that equation with the props now, again, we've got a luxury problem where we've got 5 props. And again, one of them's probably going to miss out each week.
What did you make of him yesterday? Wasn't yesterday, wasn't it?
No.
2
We
days
could say
ago.
that if you want.
Yeah.
We could have recorded it.
Actually, yeah, it was
You could say this afternoon.
It
really.
was yesterday.
I just couldn't believe how wide he was. He looked a bit like them old school props, you know, when they had the...
Shoulder pads.
Yeah, but what an ounce of fat on him there, was there?
Like 2
Like,
feet
it's
either
just...
side of him.
He went okay. He didn't stand out.
He only did
in the
15
props,
minutes
but
though
he
again
didn't do
because he's
much.
come back from a niggle. So.
He ran hard, tackled hard.
Tom
But
Holroyd.
I think he just needs to stay fit and see where he goes from there.
I think it's absolute minimum, just Tom, just stay fit.
Yeah.
Concentrate
It's
on
just
that.
going to be interesting to see where they
Everything
all
else
fit
will
in,
fall
innit?
off the back of him.
We won't have to force his return though, will we?
No.
Because we've got these props here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can add TNW to that list, but he played 13. He came on at 13 anyway, in the first half or the second half. But he came on at 13. I think that's where they see him. I think that's where he sees himself. But again, you've got him as a prop as well if we need him to be.
If he should be there.
There's no need to rush Holroyd back if there's any little niggles.
Yeah, I'd like to think that we're not going to be in the situation like we were last year where there's James Bentley at prop.
Yeah,
And
James Bentley in the middle.
Was it magic when we were watching it and we said, we've literally not got a prop on pitch?
No, when Cam and Jared at prop one.
Yeah, and we're like,
Not one of them.
well, this ain't good, is it?
Yeah, there's literally no prop.
I can't see us being in that situation again.
Well, our pack for this year, for 2025, it's an enormous improvement on what we had.
Yeah, but
Many a year.
and it's not just a case of some new bodies in. I think Blease and Brad have picked the right ones, personally, for what game plan he wants, because they've got to be fit, haven't they?
Yeah. And I think if anyone's watched the documentary as well, Brad does have a go at his middles, and he tells them when if they're not running hard enough.
Yeah.
And you know there is some. I mean, I've not watched all of episode 3 yet, but I'm on him in the bits that I've seen. Brad is quite calling out middles, saying you're not running hard enough.
There's
you're
a bit.
not
I don't know
making
whether you've got that far in it yet, but Ash calls him out.
Yeah, Ash did as well. That took me by surprise.
Because he was like saying,
Called out Mick.
I've taken that personally, and you should be taking it. But he had to go at Mick.
Yeah.
They were interesting that.
Yeah. Well,
you
so
can
when
sort
people
of
talk
see-
about this co-captain thing about Ash on the wing, but then in the dressing room,
Did he ever go at me?
Ash was calling out Mick saying, "I'm taking it personally because you're not running out. You're not doing what you can do best." Basically saying it was quite
tangent.
It sort of made more sense to why he's being given co-captaincy.
Yeah, but I think the point being
stands up to big props.
the point being the pack will be stronger because they are getting held accountable. We've seen it. I mean, in this documentary, the middles are getting held accountable, and there's a clearly big role for. Well, there's always a big role from rugby league, but they've been held accountable to that role. Otherwise, this team doesn't work.
Yeah, the standards of the performance, so they need to hit that. Another big guy, Sevo, made a great break, but just before we cut on that break, it was Harry Newman from the kick. Must have been 4 men cutting
4 or
inside.
5 men. It looked
His
like
step
what he was on.
it looked lightning.
And then Frawley knew exactly what he was doing and he got ball.
And just boomed it straight out.
What I liked about it was Seaver had read the same play because Seaver was quite far back in the line at this point. But obviously he'd seen Newman come across and Frawley had obviously spotted it as well. And he caught it whilst jumping. But when he started sprinting, it was like Sevo were doing high knees. Like his legs were so high in the air. And it was great because that was the real moment when the South Stand actually got up and went, God, it was on the Boxing Day. It's quite tame, isn't it? It's a bit dull, and everyone's full still from Christmas Day, and
everyone's half pissed.
Yeah, still drunk or hungover. But yeah, it was really well worked, and I just thinking during the season. Round 1, we play Wakefield. If that happens,
he'll just pin his ears back.
And if he sees Lachlan Wamser coming across him, the fen's going to come out. And
it looked like he wasn't
over South Stand.
Giving it full beans, and they were waiting for Ash to catch up, which is what happened. But it were a bit indecisive, and we've seen it before in pre-season. Players don't run.
I'm quite happy with Sevo doing that, doing 50-60% and not pulling a hamstring. From sprinting,
blowing his hammy and misses 9 games.
All we've got to do is get him some service near line, and he'll score a buttload because he's huge.
Who's going to stop him?
They're not.
I can't wait to see him up against John Bennison at Saints.
He'll end up in the South Stand.
Saints fans hate John Bennison.
They need to remove him from that situation. There's a duty of care at place here.
He's going to end up
not line him up
and top end at stand.
Never mind Hawley, but Sevo would absolutely chew him up.
I actually thought fair play. I don't know. I didn't recognise half at Wakey team, but they did actually contain him all right, didn't they?
There was the centre, I can't remember the number 3. He actually tackled him on his own one-on-one quite a few times, just a good old low. But that's why I felt actually I was a bit underwhelmed with Sevo initially. I think I recognise it was pre-season, first came out 50-60%, whereas Hawley's Hawley.
To be fair though, Sevo's game's not loads of metres front back line.
No,
that's not what he's about, is it?
It's finishing,
scoring 100 tries,
20 metres out.
But with someone of that size, and you've got Hawley on the other wing, there's no reason why those two shouldn't be making 10, 15 metres off the first carries, and putting us on the front foot and getting us in those right areas.
Without a doubt. So, question for you both: how many tries is Sevo?
Oh, hang on. How much did the Aussie podcast say? It was like 50. They said he's going to score like 50-60 tries, didn't they?
Who are they?
They were just having a dig at Super League.
They were having a dig at Super League, saying Super League standards so shit that when Sevo comes over here, that he's going to score 50-60 tries.
60s? No, that's silly. Chris, how many do you reckon he's going to get? Now, we did this with Fussy Tour. We've done this with...
You did this with Fussy Tour.
Momorovsky.
You did it really badly with Momorovsky.
I did it badly, even worse with Fussy Tour. So it's not unusual for us to do...
Not unusual for you to be over-optimistic. I'm clearing my name.
I'm throwing you both in with
I'm clearing my name from any predictions here.
When was the last time we had a player score over 30 in a season?
Oh, my God. It must be Danny.
If only he had a stat man.
I have thrown that in to you. I could have...
I haven't got my freaking laptop in front of me, have I? So
it's a long time ago, isn't it?
It must be Danny.
I think Ash has been closest for us.
When was the last time we had someone over 20?
Scott Donald.
Ash should be last time when he got that 27.
So he needs to be around that 30 mark.
Chris says 30. What say you?
Any Super League winning side has a winger that's scoring 20 or tries or more. So 20 is the minimum.
The standard
minimum hope. Wigan will have Miski and other one, Liam Marshall, who scored 20 apiece each year.
Liam Marshall's class.
But if you look at any Super League winning side, they have one, sometimes two players scoring at 20 tries a season.
Either side.
And I would hope that Micah is going to be one of those.
I think we need 2 or 3 players getting over 20 this year.
Brody.
Lockie says he's been told to score more tries.
Brody, I'm quite happy with Brody.
Brody will just create them all.
Brody can have like 20 odd assists. That's fine with me.
Ashes will go down because
he's going to be hopefully supplying Sevo. Or people will over defend Sevo when he can step inside.
But I think we need 2 or 3 over 20 at least this year to do anything.
I think there needs to be 2, and I think one of them needs to be Sevo.
Easily done. I'm going to say 51 tries this year. But that was a podcast saying, what did they say, 65? They've got their head in the cloud, man.
It's going to be 64.
I don't know what they're thinking. They've had one too many 4X, mate. Good attendance. 10,880.
Well, was that same as last year?
Fair play to Wakey fans because it was packed on it.
I came in through
It's a big day out for them, lot. It's a big day out.
I came in from the cricket end and I thought I was going to be the only Rhino in at that point because when I was walking in, I was just surrounded by Wakey fans. But we got 10,000 there last year. But
it's well attended.
But Boxing Day tends to get more than the Challenge Cup first round we're in. The Challenge Cup last year got 6, 7. Year before that, it was 6, 7. But what didn't
help there, though? We played Saints, didn't we?
Saints and Wigan. Wigan in the year before, where we did Wigan back-to-back as well.
Saints game, Jesus. Reminded me of that.
You went to that?
But no, Boxing Day's a great day out. And I know this, I've seen people moaning about, you named the first team side, you took them all off at half-time. That's more first-team players than we've played in the last...
Ever.
Well,
there would be moaning if they kept him on and we got 3 injuries.
Yeah. Seaver blew his hamstring.
I were a bit deflated when second half came.
I have to admit,
it was all kids, and I
started to get a bit annoyed and getting told to calm down by Ness, because Wakefield players only suddenly got the tails up when you took all the big lads off. They started putting some big shots in, and these kids who were 17, 18, I'm like, stop playing fucking big guys now when you've been literally blown away for 40 minutes, and now because the kids are on, you've suddenly grown a pair of balls. So I were getting a bit, and it was, the thing is, we were 12-0 up. We should have gone 18-0 up, but unfortunately one of the young lads dropped the ball and they went the other end and picked it up.
Down, yeah.
And
he was straight. He were disking, wasn't it? I'm sure it was.
Yeah, man.
He had a bit of a nightmare to start with, but then I thought he looked good.
He had that, and then he dropped a high ball, and then all of a sudden he went, "No, I'm not making any more mistakes." The disking.
It looked good.
And he were spot on after that.
I didn't realise he
high
was
ball.
fullback.
Well, I just assumed he played hooker, to be honest.
You do,
because at first, because they've got no names on the back,
which always helps.
And they were facing in second half. Yeah. I thought Newman had gone to fullback.
No, it was
because he's got a bit of a look of.
Yeah, I could see the numbers, so I wasn't too.
I know. Like, what's Harry doing then? I went, oh, it's not.
But then they didn't run through all the interchanges before the game, so then I was like, well, number 20's here, and I know that's Ryan Lutton. But there's 28 here, but we only went to 25 on the board before, so he was 28.
I think the guy...
and that was Harvey something. And then on the other end, anyway, there was a load of kids on, and to be fair to them, I'm really pleased that they got the win in the end, because they fronted up to a first-team Super League side, and there was a bunch of academy lads.
Yeah,
they fronted up, and they could have let their heads go down, and they chased that kick, and, they never let a ball bounce.
Twice.
Never let it bounce twice, and they got the win.
George Brown, what a finish!
I jumped out of my seat for that. I was so chuffed.
Well, I was so upset, and I was like, for God's sake, like the Wakey game, like, oh, we beat Leeds. I was like, yeah, you beat kids, like we won, and then we scored that try, like, yeah, fuck you lot, can't beat the kids now, can you? Yeah, you're professionals. You stood and watched the ball,
and then like a bit of history repeating himself. A Sinfield kicking us to a win.
Yeah,
kept his nerve.
What year are we in here? We've got Ryan Hall, we've got Sinfield, we've got a Diskin. Jesus Christ!
There's a Jones Buchanan in the.
Oh my God! What year is it?
There's Lee Smith's kid as well, isn't there? I think.
Yeah, Lee Smith's kid. They're all there.
But no, the kids did well. Like it's. I say kid, the 17, 18-year-olds. They were
kids. Yeah.
They were smaller.
That's accurate.
They were smaller, but they didn't come out of tackles. They fronted up. And they played to the end, and they finished it off.
We tend to have at least one academy lad step up throughout a season. Last year we saw a little bit of Riley, we saw lots of Alfie. Are we going to see anyone potentially this year?
Not many of them looked ready to me. They looked.
No.
I think you'll see more of Riley. He actually looked
class above
a step above the other.
Yeah, well, we saw Riley's talent last year, so that's no surprise. I mean, Toby Warren didn't look like a bad size.
No, he didn't. He went
he carried all right. So
it was difficult because they were getting dominated at that point.
Course,
yeah, it's difficult. I don't think there's anyone that really, really stood out from that basis, other than really the lad that chased the kick down and to win the try, to win the game with the try at the end. But yeah, I wouldn't say there wasn't anyone that massively.
No, but like Diskin, like you said, that's it takes some balls, doesn't it? If you've made, because it was like a Hooley type affair where he dropped ball and then he dropped.
Luke Hooley.
Oh, Hooley.
You know when he made his debut.
I thought
he dropped the ball when we were 3-1, and then he dropped a high ball. I think they scored off the next set.
Yeah,
and you could easily, as a kid, just go into your shell. But he clearly had a mental thing. Went, no, I'm not making any more mistakes now.
Yeah, and then he looks good.
And he caught every high ball. And he did all right after that.
Yeah, but I didn't really see anyone that I think, they're gonna really stand out. But I think we'll see more of Riley Lum.
Riley Lum will be the one that potentially breaks through.
And hopefully we'll see more of Jack as well.
I thought
yeah.
Jack looked the more senior player when he were on there because I suppose he is.
He should be. He should do.
And he played well.
Yeah.
He was looking to get through the line a bit more than I've seen him before.
How old is he now? 20?
21, is he?
20, 21?
He's going to have to step up at some point, isn't he?
But he's going to have to... Be a time
oh, for all he's coming off
contract this
year. So, in my theory of...
2026,
succession planning, tell me what to think of that word. There's got to be more progression for Jack if that's the plan.
Yeah.
Your succession plan can't be Jack playing 4 games this year like it was last year. There has to be more involvement for him if he's taking over Frawley's role, or if it's going to be Frawley gets another year. If it's a good year, he might be. But if the natural succession is going to be that he takes that 7 shirt for next season, he needs to have game time to prove that he's worthy to take that role off Frawley.
Otherwise, we're going to have a fresh Jack going in.
Because the other thing is, he's got competition with potentially Jake as well, Jake Connor.
Yeah.
Maybe not in a 7. That'll feel a bit weird when he doesn't really feel like a 7 as Jake Connor. But
I think he ain't any number, is he?
0.
Just put him as infinity.
0 or infinity. An 8 to its side. Anything else?
The kit.
Yeah, it looks good.
I thought the kit looked
almost as good as this one we're wearing.
Oh, great link.
Great segue.
Unplanned, great link. But no, the actual kit on Boxing Day.
We're wearing a lot pod kit for those that are
on Spotify.
Listening on Spotify.
Yeah, we are really cold as well because it's cold in it.
It's free, isn't it?
No, the new alternate kit, which is the World Club Challenge kit from 2018, looked really.
So that's
really
the alternate kit.
Yeah, Wakey Wobbloo. So we went into.
And then we've got.
With the black kit. We've got the
black for the away.
I hope we never see that.
And the 2005 for...
2005 Heritage.
Home. Yeah, I've got it.
But yeah, that alternate kit looked really, really smart.
It did.
Really, really smart.
And again, one of those shirts that looks better in the players.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got my issues with what they've done with them, but it looked good, to be fair.
Yeah, so it looked really, really good.
Yeah.
But we're wearing shirts as well.
We are. Lot pod shirts.
Yeah.
They're available now.
Are they?
Yeah. You just go pop down to your local JD Sports. Available there. 85 quid.
If we have enough interest, we may make them available.
If you like them, we have popped them out on X.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be some big things coming with stuff like that, won't there? So this is
We've
just...
got a lot in the pipipeline, but we have
This is part of a test, though, for sizing.
Yeah.
As we've already found out with Chris's, who's misordered his size. So we can help. We wanted to test it out first before doing any, so that we could help.
So if you are listening on Spotify, then go to YouTube and take a look because they are fantastic. Anything else on this game before we do?
The only thing I would say,
player of the match,
we could be a bit short in second row.
So this year,
careful.
The obsession isn't the pack; it's the second row. We've decided.
Think that
we need more second runners.
I think the depth at prop will mean that the depth at prop will mean that people like Paliassi can play second row if we need them to. They have played there before. So is Cooper Jenkins.
I'm just not to be negative at all. I'm just concerned that we've not got a lot of creativity in second row.
Hopefully, we need it.
I don't want the props to be. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Reece Martin were quite creative, weren't they? And
we said we were mentioning
creative, but attacking. But his attacking quality was great.
Yeah.
But I think that I do think Bentos and McDonnell are two.
I thought Bentley played well actually,
but I think the two are the same player.
Yeah, exactly.
Workhorses that tackle. You haven't got a
offload,
a brute force. Someone that makes up running a line that can break the line.
Yeah. That's Morgan Gannon, though, isn't it?
And that's hopefully Morgan Gannon. But Paliassi can play second row.
Gannon's a half.
But I just think there's enough creative quality in that back line now, more than ever has been, that we shouldn't need to worry about.
That was my only thought. I'm like, I hope Gannon stays fit because.
But that's a really small concern.
I think we're a bit short there
compared to where we've been in previous years. That's
small. They looked a different side. So, but friendly, isn't it?
I do have a question. It comes from another comment. Well, the thing is that one.
I thought you were going to read it like a postcard. It comes from Barry in Watford. Barry says,
well, firstly,
where can I get them shirts?
Guys. Where can I get a shirt? Well, Barry, put a pin in that. They'll be available
Can you,
soon as we
can you shut up now?
Sort out the sizes.
Shut up. First of all, best friend of the pod, Jared. We wish him best as well because he got injured only after about 9 minutes in. But I do think it poses a question.
Yes.
Which is if Jared unfortunately is injured and we don't have that substitute hooker, what's the plan?
Jake Connor.
Hooker?
No, utility.
Well,
is that what you mean?
I've got a plan.
Akers is an 80-minute hooker.
Akers can be and could be an 80-minute hooker.
I think you'll see Frawley there because he's played there for Canberra.
Not coming in and
doing
a bit of raking.
Yeah, to give Akers a break. Connor comes on at 7.
It'd still be Connor in that.
I think it's going to be utility player, isn't it?
Which
but
is
it's just that we'll be shifting players from the playing field around rather than Jared. That's what I think will happen. Could be totally wrong.
Another shift.
Bentley's played at 9, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'd rather have someone that can pass. So that's why I'm not against you. I didn't know Frawley had played there at Canberra, so Frawley has played there.
I can remember reading
him coming on
when he signed. You always look what other fans think, don't you? I can remember Canberra fans saying he's quite good at 9.
Yeah. If that's the case, I'd rather have someone at 9 that can pass.
Because he has got a good pass on him, hasn't he, Fro?
Well, I should hope so.
And he's got the best slow dummy ever, so when he goes through...
Yes, he has, that's true.
He broke the line quite a few times.
He did. I thought Brodie and Frawley took on the line a lot more than usual. I mean, Brodie had one great break where actually, if you watch the highlights, he's running with his pants down by his knees, which is quite impressive because he's still running at quite a good pace as well. But yeah, him and Frawley took on the line a lot more as well.
There were one where Frawley poked his nose through and got his
arm out,
and he was just
about to scoop it off.
Well, it was just a bit too forward, but it'd have been a really good. It'd have been a try.
Okay, anything else?
That's it now. I think so. I think I've done
it. That's it.
So, Fast Signs player of the match.
Jake Connor.
Jake Connor.
Yeah, I'll go Jake Connor.
Jake Connor, you are the Fast Signs player of the match. Congratulations. Is that the first player of the match for 2025?
No.
Or the last for 2024? Is this the last pod of 2024?
This is the
first.
This is the first pod of 2024.
Are these shirts the 2024?
This is the first pod of 2025, but the player of the matches are not going to contribute towards the player rating stuff that we do later in the year. So the player ratings will be back for round 1.
In 2025.
And the stats, because you don't get any stats for...
No, I tried to look. I couldn't really find anything. I didn't look hard, to be fair.
I don't think you get them.
You struggle to get them in real time?
I do want to... Yeah,
well, they are getting better.
It takes them about 8 weeks to catch up during the season. But, we will do player ratings in round 1, but Jake Connor definitely played a match.
Congratulations to Jake Connor. Shall we talk about the Spirit of the Rhinos documentary? It's a documentary that's been released on, what's it called now? Super League
Plus.
Super League Plus.
Following the Rhinos for the 2024 season. 3 episodes have been released so far. We kind of briefly touched on it, but what have you made of it so far, Chris? You've seen all 3 episodes.
The third one is easily the best one.
Right.
I was surprised the amount of time the Rob Burrow stuff got, because it wasn't actually that long.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the episode. I thought I had in my mind that episode was just going to be about Rob, the work of the MND community and the club and that game.
But yeah, it wasn't.
And it was
very
only
long,
10,
15 minutes.
And it was still great what the cover. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I do think the episodes have got better and better and better.
Yeah,
One was a bit.
I was really disappointed with the first one because we talked about it, didn't we? And we were like, what have I learnt there? Absolutely nothing. And
do you think they've taken stuff of their own out there? Like,
I think so.
Massively.
I think so. But it was like, I really don't want to relive that season. No. Unless there's something to show me.
The reason, right, I mean, I wasn't going to watch it. I was going to watch it all in one go, and then I got bored over Christmas and I had time, so I decided to watch it. The bit I was really, really wanting to see was Brad Arthur behind the scenes.
Yeah. Which is what we're getting now, isn't it?
And not the stuff we get on the behind the scenes and the YouTube stuff. I wanted to see the actual behind the scenes in the change rooms, and the videography stuff that we see him do, and I want to see how he comes across and how he talks to people.
Yeah.
And George, if you're watching this, you'll need to cover your ears about every other second whilst you're watching the documentary, because there is a lot of F words from Brad Arthur, which is quite funny.
There is, but that's my biggest bugbear of the whole thing, is that they're bleeping some F words out.
They did it in episode 3, but I think the bits I've seen in
and
episode
then they're
3,
not with some others.
the bits I've seen in episode 3, it's the best one so far, and you're getting to see Brad Arthur, you're getting to see him as a coach, and you're getting to see what he's like for this year.
Yeah.
You're getting a better idea of who he is.
So it's got progressively better. If it had been like the first one, I'd have been really disappointed.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued with season 4, episode 4, because it'll be the end of the season. We've not made it. It will show us going through those games. There's some tough games in there. You know, when we just scrape past London, there's some of the losses in there as well. But so it'll be interesting to see how Brad frames that big end of the season and how that ends. Yeah. And how they're going to.
Well, fucking shit, mate.
It's about 40% of it, to be fair, if you're talking about errors and discipline.
I know that was a really good impression.
And meters. But no, it is good.
Edna Average.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's one episode left. It's available. Well, it isn't, but it will
Comes
be.
out January 6th.
And, and that was my thing as well. I thought it were every week, so I sat there trying to find it. On
you
second week.
I did that.
And I'm like,
second week,
Chris, did you read the instructions?
No, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anyway.
Just at the depths of your emails. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Please do subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search the Lot Pod. That's us there. Hit that subscribe button as we crawl our way to 1,000 subscribers. Please rate us 5-star on Spotify and iTunes. We are totally worth it.
Can you be a bit more enthusiastic and saying crawl?
We are crawling our way to.
Well, we like doubled our subscriber count over last year. So
yes, we did.
That's not crawling.
But we're still crawling.
Thank you for everyone subscribed so far. Just tell a friend.
No, burner accounts.
50%.
People think we're joking. We don't give
50% of people that listen to these podcasts on YouTube do not subscribe.
And that drives
so
us
if you're watching this on YouTube right now, there's a little subscribe button. Do us a favour, please just click it.
And then get your kid's iPad. And subscribe on there. Then get your wife's phone and your husband's phone and subscribe on that.
We've had some great content, loads of positives.
There's Lampy's interview to check out. There's Ash's interview to check out. Ian Blee's interview to check out.
There's only going to be more next year, isn't there?
Yep.
Hopefully.
Starting with another Media Day video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.